Hello, my darlings. It is another early morning with yours, Khandie, or should I say me, Khandie? I don't really know. I have just come back from shooting in Poland, and I just want to know how many of you are actually feeling the burnout. Because I'll be honest, as I realise now we're in the lead up to Christmas, yes, I said those words. It's Christmas, darling, and it is rapidly upon us. Not only am I feeling quite rough, as you can hear from my voice, but I'm starting to feel the eeks of burnout, just slowly creeping in at the sides. Have had a lot of busy days. I did London Fashion Week. I shot 2 campaigns after London Fashion Week. I did some band front covers. I've been mentoring. I've been doing quite a lot. And I started to notice amongst my friends that it's starting to happen that sometimes you feel like your camera is gonna get you, and we all need to reset. Now, I know that's like a cliche Instagrammy, "Oh my god, that's big," like, thing. Photography, you have it as your main income, when photography essentially feeds you, sometimes I feel like it can bleed me dry. So like I said, I've come back from Poland where I hit the streets with nothing but my camera, no brief, no client, no expectations, just me wandering around, pressing the shutter when I fucking wanted to, because I needed to reset. I needed to reset my brain in a way where no business plan and self-help book can. For me personally, while I recommend my own 2 books available on Amazon, sometimes I need to do stuff where there is no noise of anyone else putting pressure on me. So today, in this podcast episode, I'm diving into why every photographer needs a hobby, why doing shit outside your usual lane is not optional, it's actually part of your survival, and how you can actually protect your love for this craft without crushing it under the weight of client deadlines, Instagram likes, having to do another fucking reel, or bullshit hustle culture. Okay. I am ill. I flew and I had everyone coughing on me, so I'm like a petri dish of germs, honestly. So let's talk about Poland. I go to Poland quite a lot. You might have followed me on Instagram. If you don't, this is a great time. Find me at Candy Photo, spelled the stupid way. You know my name. I didn't go there just for some photo shoot. I actually went to for a party, a family party, but I wanted to get out with my camera because I knew I needed a reset. Okay. Also, the fact that I drank an absolute skinful of vodka, because if you go to any Polish party, you know what I'm talking about. Big up Gosha, Pavel, Roman, and Eva for having celebrating their 40 years of marriage and inviting me along. I had a blast. It was incredible. But I needed to get out and do something that wasn't just about shooting for a client. And thankfully, Ava had this great idea that we go to this place, Torin, which is actually a UNESCO, is that how you say it? World Heritage Site. And I was like, yes, let's go. Street photography is one of those things where I feel for me, it's like a detox, okay? It might not be your detox, but I'm going to talk about from me. You know, you don't know what you're going to capture. You can't plan it. You're walking around, you're observing, you're in a part of the world and you're just enjoying the moment and instead of trying to like force the world to work for you and perform for your lens. So I wasn't really worried about getting settings perfect for some client brief. I wasn't worried about, oh my God, am I shooting dual card? Am I shooting in RAW? I just didn't care. I mean, I was, but it wasn't like a thing. Okay. I wasn't thinking about whether it would fit on the grid of Instagram. In fact, it's now a reel on my Instagram if you go have a look. I wasn't even thinking if anyone would ever see these photos. Obviously, now they will have if you follow my Instagram or any of my other platforms. I've put them there. But the thing is, this was important as a reset for me because there's this thing when you love photography and you decide to, and it's been your hobby for ages, then you make it your career, it can kind of swallow you and what something that you've loved doing because of the joy of it now becomes invoices, edits, contracts. And let's be real, sometimes clients make you question why you ever picked up a camera in the first place. I mean, right now, I am still chasing invoices that I chased a month ago. And before you come at me, yes, small claims is the next step. I know, but like it's all those little things that starts to drag it down. It's not really taking the photos, is it? Let's be honest. Why do we hate photography? The admin side. It is never the photo side, is it? It's the admin side, we'll be honest. But I wanted to ask you something. When was the last time you shot for you? And I'm not talking money. I'm not even talking about for Instagram and certainly not for your portfolio. Just for the sake of fuck it, I want to take some photos. Most photographers I've met and spoken to look guilty when I ask them that. I mean, I don't like go, hey, when did you last shoot? I'm not going to try and bullshit you here on this podcast that that's exactly what I say to people. I don't. But I'll occasionally bring it up. And they look at me like they've committed some crime by not monetizing some photo on their platform. And it's because the industry loves a hustle story. Rise and grind, shoot every day, work harder than the next guy. Blah, blah, blah. But you know what that leads to? I'll tell you now, burnout, bitterness, and eventually send your gear on eBay because you can't stand the sight of it anymore. And I have literally got a friend who is now finally coming back to photography after chucking all their stuff 4 years ago on eBay because they couldn't do it anymore. And now they're like, can I come along because I need some help? I'm like, yeah, no worries. So, and it's all because she got burnout. She just couldn't handle everything. And there's no fault on her. Honestly, burnout is real because we teach people how to take photos, we teach people how to run a business, but we don't talk about how to maintain a business and our life. That very cliche work-life balance ratio. And I've spoken about it before on my podcast, but we don't really talk about it. So I am going a little bit in depth for this one. So hold on with me because I had an amazing conversation with somebody saying that they were feeling a little bit out of touch just before I was getting on the airport. I'm not going to name them, it's a personal chat. And I suddenly realized I'm starting to feel a little bit like them. Like I do not have the celebrity status they have, I do not have the accolades they have, but I was definitely sort of, and I love that I'm friends with people like this. But I personally started to feel like I'm doing a lot. I run this podcast, I have the YouTube channel, I have Instagram, I do TikTok, I have another TikTok account where I do quite a lot of stuff on, which is not related to photography. I run my website. I do, I do a lot, teaching, mentoring. I do a lot, and I was starting to feel like, hey. And I was thinking this trip to Poland would just be relaxing. I knew I had a little bit of work there, but I thought it was going to be relaxing. But I had to take the day to actually go relax. I needed to do that. I needed to go and do it for myself. I needed to relax. I needed to just reset. I don't know what other word there is for it because I want to tell you now, your creativity is not a bloody coal mine. You can't keep digging without putting anything back in. And at some point, that mine runs dry. And that's why hobbies matter. That's why doing something outside your usual photography is crucial. It's not just fluff, it's oxygen mask you put on yourself before you pass out at 30,000 feet. It is so important to take time out of this so-called hustle. And often it's inflicted, but it's not. The cost of living is rising. We are having prices go up. We are recognizing that there is a lot more pressure on ourselves and we are having to deal with a lot more, work a lot harder, and absolutely try our hardest to maintain some momentum of earning money. And what happens is we burn out and we burn out hard. And before we know it, we are slinging our stuffs for sale and we are like, I quit, I can't do this. So let's look at other industries. Musicians that only play their own songs eventually hate their instruments. Writers who only write client copy lose their voice. And athletes who train non-stop without play get injured. And it's the same with us. I know wedding photographers who never shoot personal projects. And do you know what happens? Their work starts to look like it's on a conveyor belt. Stiff, predictable, no spark. And then I look at those who have a personal project running, street photography, weird self-portraits, documenting their kids, macro shots of insects. Their client work starts to sing because they're not just technically sharp, they're kind of alive creatively. It might not be like the craziest thing, but the energy is still there. The flow is still there. Hobbies outside photography matter too. I know a guy who boxes, another one who bakes, someone who crochets. And guess what? They all say the same thing. When I come back to my camera after this, I feel better. I see things differently. In fact, my mate actually said, I can be actually bothered to do the job again. But I need to be very real with you. That's what she said. Street photography did that for me, and especially in Poland. It sharpens my instincts. I get to relax. I get to move as quick or as slow as I want. I get to anticipate and often get it wrong. I see light before it's gone. It makes me better when I come back to a portrait session because I'm quicker at noticing details. I don't have to perform for anybody. I've always enjoyed my street photography. I was very privileged to what did I place? Was it top 3 in a competition with one of my images? I talk about my street photography. I often call it a fail because if any street photographer tells you they get a banger every time, they're wrong. Even Sean Tucker, the god of street photography, says he doesn't always get a banger shot that he can put in his portfolio every time he's out. I go out and often call it a fail because I don't get the banger, but it is not a fail for me as a photographer. I'm learning every time. You can watch my antics on YouTube on my street photography if you like. It's all there, Khandie photography. But here's where I want to get blunt with you. If you don't build a reset button into your life, photography will chew you up, chomp on yourself, and spit you out with no regard. If every camera click of your shutter, is that right? If every click of your shutter, let's get that right, is tied to some sort of money, validation seeking, or hustling, you're fucked, babe. Honey, you're effed. Because you're never feeling a part of you that actually wants love this in the first place. Your brain needs to play. Your camera needs to play. And as adults specifically, we very rarely get time to play. We never get time to take up space for ourselves. Everything suddenly has to be about money. And I know the irony of me saying that when I've just spoken about cost of living going up and prices going up. But let me tell you, if you get burnout, you're not going to earn money because you couldn't physically do it. So you need to do a little bit of play, okay? So And I mean, like, think about when you first started, when you didn't care if this photo or a photo could be monetized. It didn't have any traction. You just did it because you liked it. You didn't care if the composition was perfect. You were just buzzing that you could freeze time with a click, and that was magic to you at the time. And somewhere along the lines, you've just traded that magic. You've traded it and gone, oh, let's turn that into invoices. Some weird competition in your head. Instagram algorithms, YouTube algorithm, the constant nagging voice saying, "Is that good enough? Will that book me a client? Can I use that in my marketing?" Ugh. I mean, fuck that shit. Fuck it. Go find your magic again. Go shoot somewhere for no reason. Go pick up a disposable camera. Analog Wonderland's a great place to buy disposable cameras, by the way. Go try street photography. Try wildlife. I even did that in Estonia, if you might have seen. I did a skills swap with the lovely Phil Gold, who owns Wildlife Dreams. That's on my YouTube. And I actually viewed him here on my podcast. We skill swapped. It wasn't like a reset, but it was like a challenge, and it really made me laugh because I actually quite enjoyed it. So there you go. Try and go wildlife photography. I never thought I would do it. Or macro photography, or even landscapes. If it's just not your usual, do something with zero stakes, zero agenda, and try. Okay. So my challenge to you is, when was the last time you hit that reset button? If it's been months or worse, even years, honey, I'm gonna be very kind when I say this to you, but I mean it. Get the fuck up and do it. Okay. This week, give yourself an afternoon. If you can't give yourself an afternoon, give yourself 2 hours. Leave the client gear at home. Leave your perfection at home. Take one camera, one lens, and just go fucking play. If you go, what my book literally talks about, but I can send you challenges. In fact, if you go onto my Instagram, there's some old challenges I put up during the pandemic, right? Go have a look at those. Don't think about Instagram. Don't think about clients. Don't think about, oh, will this be useful? Go and shoot because you like it. There's no reason. Just do it. Snap. Done. Photograph all the dog crap on your walk. I don't know. Photograph the rubbish like I do. Do something, because you'll notice how you feel after. Because I promise you, it will change the way you show up for your paid work. Because suddenly you're not running on empty anymore. You're filling the gas tank. Okay. I mean, this is a short rant because my throat is actually going, as you can hear. I am very tired. I am a little bit ill. So that's the end of today's rant. But I want you to know, what is your reset button? If you've got a hobby that keeps you sane, what is it? What is it that stops? And share it. If it's street like me, maybe. Is it something totally outside photography, painting, the gym, pottery? Drop me a message, share it in the Loud Lens Facebook group. Let's have a proper conversation. And if you're sat here thinking, shit, I don't have one, then guess what? You just found your bloody homework for the week. Because at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck if your grid is perfect or your client list is long. If you hate the thing you built your life around, protect your love of photography, protect your spark, and don't forget to reset, please. Please. Okay, I'm going to go now because I need to down some lemon and ginger tea or something because this throat is annihilating. This has been me, Khandie on the Loud Lens, sounding croaky as hell.